Were you just filming now the past few days in Cork for election? Did you film your election documentary?
Yeah, I still am filming it because I don't have an ending for it yet. So I'm still filming a bit more. Going to try and, like everyone in Ireland, try and figure out what happens
Yeah,
in the next few days. So
right.
it's interesting to have someone asking me questions because I've been going around for the last couple of days
Yeah.
asking questions to other people, saying, what do you think is going to happen? Who has impressed you in the campaign? Um, can I film this? Yes, I'll leave.
I hear you.
Um,
All I do sometimes is I feel like that's all I do is ask questions, which I feel also has made it harder for me to come up with any answers at all.
well, answers can be, over, rated, can't they?
Yeah, that's true. Well, I mean, what do you think is happening? What's your take on the general elections so far?
Well, we'll talk about that very briefly because neither of us really, are that keen on it. But I have
No.
been keeping up with the filmmaking. I'm very, I'm passionate about what I'm passionate and interested in what goes on around me. And obviously, I filmed the last two elections in 2011 and 2016. I shot a 10-minute documentary in 2011. I shot a 27-minute documentary in around 27-minute documentary in 2016. And I just felt, gee, it would be a real shame if I didn't go and film the election coming up. I was saying this myself a couple of days ago or 2 weeks ago because I kind of felt like something was going to happen, and it turns out something has happened, which is in this case in Ireland is that our two main parties are kind of centrist or right wing parties have been unseasoned. We've got a new party, and now we have a three-party system for the first time in the history of our government. So I'm glad I made it, and I've been doing a lot of filming. I was not filming today, but I was traveling back from Cork today, which is where my where I'm registered to vote, and I filmed the voting, the count centre on Saturday, which I got in a little bit of trouble with, but whatever. And on Sunday, I filmed the count centre. So I filmed in the polling station on Saturday and the count centre on Sunday down in Cork. And now I'm back in Dublin to film a little bit more and try and figure out an ending for my documentary.
What do you mean you got into a little bit of trouble?
Well, it's I was moved on by the guards actually, so maybe we.
What'd you
I was
do?
moved on by the guards just because I was filming. I was filming actually on the polling station, which you're not allowed to do, but I did it in 2011 and 2016. There was no trouble, so I was shifted away by the guards. So I was trying to explain to them, gee, if I'm out here and I'm across the road, I'm not going to be able to interview anyone. But eventually, they left, and I went back to where I was. I interviewed a few more people.
What do you do when something like that happens, though? How do you react to that disturbance?
Well, I think all my years of being in filmmaking, and dealing with various crises in one shape or another, you deal with it in a very calm and collected way, and you just say, fine, that's no problem. And then when the crisis is no longer an issue, you just go back and you carry on what you were doing.
Yeah, but not everyone would be able to do it, I feel like, because I've only recently just started actually filming people. I do it in the very
Oh, really? You're
what I
filming
do is
people now?
I do long takes. I do uncut videos and actually upload them to my YouTube channel uncut because I like the long take. I was always afraid of doing that because I was always afraid of like pointing a camera at somebody. But you seem
Well,
to
you have
have
to ask permission. I mean, you ask
yeah.
permission from the individual. Can I film you? Which wasn't the problem I had. I had gotten permission off the individual, but I did not have permission to be filming in the place that I was filming. So it was a bit of a catch-22 whether I had one thing, but I didn't have the other. But if you just ask people, a lot of people are very interested in talking on camera, and a lot of people are very interested, I think, in having an outlet to express their views.
Yeah.
Is what I found.
You see, because I was, and we'll talk about your other work too then later on, but I was actually
All right, okay.
watching, I think I'd already watched it when you first uploaded it in 2016, but Marking Up the Score, which is the documentary you were
Oh yeah.
talking about that you'd filmed in 2016 around election
Mm.
time, and you actually go out on the road for that. And you see, that was always the problem with me, and it still is actually, because when I do it, I still feel like I'm a little bit I don't know. I always feel like I'm intruding, and but you were quite fearless.
Oh yeah, I'm very intrusive.
You have no problem doing that.
Well, I might feel a little bit shy or a little self conscious, but I feel there's probably two things. Like one thing is I've done it so often, I've kind of just somewhat gotten over that sense of fear. And the other thing is the camera I have is kind of big, so I can just hide behind the camera anyway.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What are you filming with?
I'm filming on at the moment a Sony A7S, which isn't the most contemporary of cameras. It was a 2015 model. I got it secondhand there a couple of months ago,
Is that?
and
Oh right. So it's not the same one you
but
filmed
still,
marking up the score with.
no, I borrowed a camera for that. I borrowed a DSLR off of a friend for that.
Right.
But it's still a 2K camera, so it should be good. What do you think of my documentary and my marking up the scores? You like that, or what do you think of it, or were you bored by it? Because I know for you, you're not really into politics.
On the contrary, I am fascinated with politics. I'm fascinated with the
Oh, I didn't know that.
discourse around politics. I yeah, you know, but I'm more interested in the discourse because I don't feel like I could ever belong to any party in particular. I don't know about you,
Mm.
but that's how
No,
I
I
feel.
feel the same way probably.